Good morning. Good morning. So, today, number one stock on the leading gapper, LIXT. I've been in this since 7:25 a.m. Eastern Time with 2,000 shares, average price of $6.04. As far as scalp trading this stock, it's not doesn't really have clean entries. Um, it has had some good 5-minute breakouts, but this last one was a failed 5-minute breakout up here at 779, and since then it broke down and is bouncing off the VWAP right now. My exit strategy on this one right now is breaking below the VWAP, so the VWAP right here is at $7.06. So we're just a little bit up from that now. So if we do break below $7.06, I'll be looking to get out of this trade. But as of right now, I'm in a really good position here. Average price 604. And my entry was for the break of the VWAP here, and it came up quite a bit from there. So right now I'm just watching it down here, seeing if it bounces off the VWAP or drops below and below $7. So here it's coming below 7, 6. So I'm going to stop out right there. So up $1,800 realized profit on LIXT. I did miss out on half of the move I was in this for. It came up all the way to 818, but I was okay with that because this is early market, early pre-market when I got in, and so was giving it some room in case it became parabolic pre-market or as we got closer to market open. Morning, Robert. So I had a pretty predictable entry or safe entry here. This had come all the way up to 850 pre-market, then was dropping down a whole lot, bounced off the 200 moving average, and then was repeatedly trying to break up above VWAP, and I bought it here as it did a nice clean break over the VWAP and continued upwards all the way for $2+ to 8. Well, it did a nice consolidation here around $7, and then did another breakout up to a high of 818. So that was a nice trade for me on LIXT. Just got out of it right now, and like I said, it doesn't look very good for scalp trading right now, the way it's trading, and it just came below the VWAP. I can't short it. So LIXT is the leading gapper here, currently up 85%. It was up over 100, and we'll see how it behaves around the VWAP here. I don't have a whole lot else on watch other than maybe CDXC from yesterday. It's up here at 2150 right now. Did a really nice break off of the VWAP level here, pre-market, up from 1950 all the way to 22. But I'm not going to be trading CDXC at all above the VWAP today. If I do trade it, it'll be below the VWAP, whether it's breaking down below it and then adding as it rejects, or waiting for it to break down, test, and then getting an entry as it's rejecting. So in a good position here pre-market. Have a nice cushion on the day. Morning, Trevor. And we'll see what happens. Let's look at the gap scanner here and see if there's anything else that's interesting. LIXT not looking great at the moment. So we have AFI. Let's look at AFI. This one, Armstrong Flooring Incorporated. It's up 28.5%, 1.8 million shares of volume, and a 20 million share float. So this one could be a good short. So I'll put that up on one of my charts here, AFI. It is below the VWAP. It made a move down from the VWAP right there. Morning, Jacob. If you're just joining, Jacob, I just had a hour plus long trade on LIXT pre-market that I got out of. I got in at $6, breaking above the VWAP, and just got out as it came back down and broke below the VWAP. It doesn't look too great for continuing to trade right now unless it turns around and comes back above the VWAP and has some clean entries. Today, my number one focus is going to be, first of all, really good entries. If you don't have a good entry, it's pretty hard to trade good. So number one thing I'm going to look at today is good entries. Thanks, Robert. Yesterday, and the day before, but yesterday, my wife and I went downhill skiing at the Alyeska Ski Resort here in Alaska, and it was very therapeutic after my my red day yesterday. So I wasn't hurting at all, and had a good day downhill skiing in the sun. And I'm in a good mindset right now to capitalize on some good setups today. So LIXT, we'll look at it again, see what it's doing, but so it could jump back above the VWAP here, but still not super interested in it at this point. Robert, what's your take on CDXC this morning? You were pretty spot on yesterday, so I'm curious what your thoughts are on this stock right now. I'm certainly not going to be shorting it as it's trading up on momentum. Not sure what I was thinking yesterday. Pretty much trading my P&L and taking a poor entry. I did three catastrophic things in a row that led to my losses, which was number one, shorting with a horrible entry. No real entry at all. I was just watching the level 2 as it was shooting up, and thought I saw some weakness, so I shorted it with a small position. I think it was a quarter my account. And then the second of three things that killed me was, as it went up a whole bunch, I didn't stop out with my initial position. And then the final blow was, instead of stopping out even way up higher after I should have, I added to my position, increasing the size of my position by 4 to get a better price. So that was my 3-step method to losing $4,000 in a couple minutes. So not going to do that today. No shorting unless I have a really good entry, and we'll have a good day. Yep, 119 million shares of volume yesterday on CDXC. Yeah, it's up so much here that I feel good about not trying to capitalize on an initial move coming down and just trading it below the VWAP. VWAP is currently at $20.08. So CDXC bouncing off the VWAP a little bit here. I'm looking at it on a different screen. I'm also watching AFI here. So CDXC breaking below the VWAP, trying to. So I often take entries as stocks break below the VWAP, but just because of yesterday, I'm going to be extra cautious on this one and not take a entry if it breaks the VWAP here at $20, and I'll wait for it to come down and then go back up and test the VWAP and short it as it's testing it, and ideally rejecting it and coming back down. Yep, yeah, I am interested in AFI for a short. Let me see what the, let's see, it's selling some property for $76 million. Anything else? And it's up 29% right now. So market's open. CDXC, I'll watch this one right now. It has more volume. So CDXC coming down here, breaking below the VWAP. Just watching. If I miss out on a move, it's okay. I'm going to see it break down here, come back up. Look at that, whole dollar drop there. So I want to see it come up, test $20 or somewhere near $20, and then come back down. If it doesn't, I'm just going to miss the move. Not a big deal. So AFI isn't doing much now, and CDXC is hanging around 1920, 1930. I want to see it come back up above the $0.50 and get to around 1980 or so if I'm going to be shorting it. It might just drop though. I'm going to put the gappers up here. It looks like LIXT. Turn my volume up so I can hear the scanners. Let's see what LIXT was doing. LIXT. So LIXT is coming down. GME hitting the scanners. Can look at it just for grins. GameStop. So GameStop's ripping up $10 from 120 to 130. But not my normal price range to trade in, so I'll let everyone on Robinhood and Webull play with GameStop. Not that there's anything wrong with Robinhood and Webull, but I'm just not, I just don't know how to get a safe entry on that with any size. Alright, so looking to add to CDXC, or short it here. I kind of missed the entry there I was looking for. It didn't come quite as high as I wanted it here, so looking to see if this can come up higher, and if not, I'll short it right here at 1886. It's coming down and breaking the low on this 1 minute candle. See that? So my price is 1883, and I'll stop out at $19 if it's coming up. Only have 162 shares short, so not really exposing myself too much here. If it does come up, let's see. Yeah, I'll stop out if it gets up to 19. Adding here. I added there because it's right here at this level on the 1 minute chart that it's been holding up above here as it comes down. My average price is 1870, so still stopping out at $19. If I have if I have 2 red trades in a row on this stock, I'm just going to call it good for the day. So good, CDXC coming down. I don't want to bring any emotions from this stock yesterday into today, so I'm just gonna stop out here at 19 if it's coming up, and I'll give myself one more stab at it and be done with 2 red trades, or it'll continue down here, and we'll have a little bit of profit on CDXC. This one does have a lot of room to come down, though, if it so 1888, stopping out at 19 exactly. So small loss there, $121. If it makes it back up closer to the VWAP here, that would be good for an entry. And if I have one more red trade on it, I'm calling it a day for CDXC. AFI is making a move lower here, so didn't get on that one. Let's see. VWAP on CDXC right now is 1963. Looks like it tapped $19 and is coming down. So I got out right at the high here on this pullback on the 1 minute chart. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. SRTS, we'll check that out. Can't type today. SRTS. So this one looks like it's halting coming up. It has 500 thousand shares of volume. It has some news, fourth quarter results. It is shortable, not shorting any stocks that are extended like this to the upside today. So this one I just saw hitting the high-a-day Momo scanner over here and pulled it up to see what it's doing. It's continuing higher. The halt level is 551. If it gets up to there, it'll be a 5-minute halt. Halt. So definitely some good action this morning. To the short side on CDXC, that would have been a good trade for breaking below the VWAP and not waiting for it to test, but being extra careful on my entries. Robert's mentioned in some comments on other videos how he and I are kind of opposites. I'm kind of fearless and I'm throwing my whole account in here and there, and he's a little bit more timid and fearful. So if we combine our trading powers, maybe we'll average each other out. Hit this sweet spot. So I'm just watching SRTS here. It's almost at 1 million shares of volume, 935,000 shares of volume. It's trying to get up to 550 here. The halt level is 570. You can see that right here. Just watching. There's a conference call at the 4:30 p.m. today on SRTS for fourth quarter earnings. Yeah, on the daily chart for me, it doesn't look amazing for SRTS. You can see right here, it's kind of just tapped to this level here on the high today. Below VWAP, it's not too far up from VWAP, 25 cents, 30 cents, so might trade it as it breaks below VWAP if it does, but it's we'll see. AFI isn't moving a whole lot. CDXC bottomed out at 200 moving average. So watching SRTS here. Keep staying calm, cool, and collected. There's stocks moving like crazy every morning, and it's important not to lose your head over the volatility and just strike at the right opportunity. AUVI is hitting the scanners, but only has 100,000 shares of volume, which is really low. So maybe later it will be interesting. So I'm shorting SRTS here at 520 with 25% of my account. It's this level on the 1 minute chart. I'm ready to stop out. My stop will be 530. But taking an entry here, taking a stab at it. If I have more than 2 red trades in a row on any stock, I'm putting it on the do not trade list for the rest of the day. But here we have SRTS dropping down below the VWAP and $5, so was a decent entry there. And this one could come all the way back to 450 today. Even lower, but probably not. So I'll take a little bit off the table here. So I took half my position. Well, let's see. I took half my position. So locked up half of my profit on that trade. So now this is a pretty safe trade here for me. I could get out at 540 and still be green on the trade. So the reason I took this trade is I was watching on this 1 minute chart. There was this level at 520 where for 1, 2, 3, 4 candles it was trying to not really trying to, but just respecting a level and looking like there was pressure to break below it. And you saw how quickly, pretty quickly after I got in, it broke down all the way here to even below 490, a low of 486. It's coming back up here, so we'll see what it does at this level. But rejecting, see there, it came up and tested 520 on the charts. It rejected it, but we'll see. So it's a good thing I took profit. Something I don't always do, but I took half my trade off the table, and I'm in good shape. So now it's right below VWAP here. VWAP is 508, coming back up a little bit. This could form a 5-minute setup. This does look a little bit like so I'm going to stop out. So because I took profit, I was able to stop out there with a little bit of green on that stock, $53. So that's the benefit of taking profit. If I didn't take profit there, I would have given back 16 cents with 1,100 shares, so like $160 or something. Instead, profit of 53. So it's always good to take some profit here. It's looking better for a long over 550. I might take a small trade. I'm taking a small long here in anticipation of breaking up to above 550. My stop and my price is 544, so we'll see. My stop will be 520 right now. This, if it breaks over the $0.50, definitely has room to go up. So only using a quarter of my account. Have a nice profit cushion on the day, so not freaking out over my P&L in any way, and just taking some stabs here. Okay, looking to doing a little bit of a pullback here, staying in it for the time being. It still doesn't look bad. There's 2 minutes left on this 5-minute candle. And if we get above 550, it'll have a nice move, most likely. Not as much volume on this one as a lot of stocks, so not as much momentum here if it does break, but watching. All right, I'm gonna stop. I'll just get out of that one. So gave back my profit and a little bit more on that one, so I'll call it good for SRTS. Usually when I only had one red trade on that one, but usually if I repeatedly yeah, this one doesn't have a lot of good action, and so I am going to have CDXC. I only took one red trade on it, so I'm not Xing that one off the do not trade list, but SRTS doesn't seem too great to me to the long, as Robert was right about that one again. Robert is a wealth of knowledge. I could have gotten in way early too. It might do a 5-minute setup, but I'm not going to trade it to the long. No SRTS to the long. CDXC is testing the VWAP here, so let me CDXC. So little entry on CDXC here if it rejects the VWAP at 1910. And my stop will be, it's 160 shares, my stop is 1950. That is the price where it would do a 1-minute. So we want to see it drop down below the VWAP. There we go. So drop as it came back down below the VWAP. I could have added, but just because I'm red on it already, I don't want to just be increasing my position size like crazy. Just trading the setup here for this big move down after the market opened down to this moving average here at 1773, coming up, testing the VWAP, and then dropping back down. So looks like SRTS did make the 5-minute move here. So 5-minute breakout was at 544, and it's up at 5. So I was just early on that trade. Wasn't a bad idea, but I didn't wait for the best timing. I got in early. So one of the very important things of day trading is being patient. You have to be patient and wait for the absolute best opportunity to strike. CDXC is down here at low 19s. So eventually I'm going to want to see this drop below this moving average. And I would feel okay adding to the trade at that point, because it's opened up, dropped below the VWAP, come up, tested the VWAP, and if it gets down to this moving average, it has a whole ton of room to come down still. I would have at that point $1.40 of profit unrealized on 160 shares, so I'd have some room. My average price would still be, you know, a little bit up above where I get in for continuation to the downside. So I'll look to add if it breaks below this 200 moving average on the 5-minute chart. And as far as it coming back up, just stop out coming above VWAP, basically, or at my price. It's a small position right now. SRTS coming back down a little bit here. AFI is making the move I was interested in to the short side, so I'll show you that one. I have yep, so that would have been a decent trade. CDXC coming down here to where I want to short it, so I'm shorting here in anticipation. This is a little bit impatient of an entry. My price is $17.93, so that brought my average price down to $18.38. So at my average price here, so watching CDXC for it to break down below $18 and $17.72. And if this is a red trade, I am done with this stock for today. It would be my second red trade on it. So this low of this candle is $17.91. So gonna watch it to the downside, breaking $17.91. I'll stop out at $18.50 to the upside. So shorting here at 18. So I'm in with my full account. CDXC, looking for it to break below $18. Average price is $18.25. So it's trying to break below 18 here. And then the next price to watch is $17.73. $646 shares short at $18.25. My stop is $18.50. SRTS coming down. But it's not, it's on my do not trade list today, so not even going to look at that one. So some indecision here on CDXC. So it's coming up and tapping this moving average on the 1-minute chart, which is 1854. About to stop out if it jumps above it. So stopped out there. So at this point, giving back $500 of profit on my LIXT trade after the market open here. I think I was just keeping a pretty tight stop here on this trade on CDXC, but I'll just be done with that one. No need to build up any kind of negative emotions on that stock today. You see how I stopped out right at the high there. The high was 1859 and I got at 1859. So this is where one could experience serious FOMO as it comes down and does the move I'm looking for. And then a common thing would be to get back in here, and it's not horrible, not a horrible thing to do, but if I do that 10 times in a row, I can build up a pretty big loss on this stock. So not going to be doing that. So I was a little bit impatient on some of my entries, both on SRTS and CDXC, which has cost me here. Chances are CDXC will end up, several dollars lower today at the market close or after hours. XTNT is coming up quite a bit here. Closing of $20 million private placement. So this is a stock that if I could short it, I would, if I'm being risky, watch this come up and try and time the reversal, but can't short it, and I'm also not taking short entries like that today. So AFI. So AFI made the nice move down here to this moving average, but looks like it was a little bit choppy there. Came all the way up on this candle to 520. My entry, if I had shorted it, probably would have been right around 520 or even lower, so might have stopped out on that one. LIXT is no longer interesting at all. This one coming down. Pretty happy with my pre-market trade on this one. Got in at 7:25 Eastern time for a nice clean break of the VWAP to the upside. So it looks like CDXC definitely is respecting that 200 EMA there for any of you that might be interested in trading it. Robert says he's not seeing anything that is resembling a good long trade for him today, but it could change at any second. That's very true. Stocks can always pop up that we're not seeing before, and they look really good and have a nice trade on them. Here comes CDXC trying to break below 1772 again, just for the sake of watching it to see what it does. I'm not trading it anymore today though. Coming down here, 1793, 20 cents above 1780, 1776, and boom, breaking below. We'll see if it holds or not. It's already broken below 3 times and jumped back up here. So these moving averages are pretty considerable levels of support and resistance. EFOI hit the scanner, this one. Energy Focus partners with Dalkia of EDF Group. Becomes an approved lighting solution technology partner for global energy services provider. 2 million shares of volume. Not that interesting. Here's the daily chart. Let's see, what else? METX was on the gappers this morning, so this one's been coming down from its gap up this morning. So that one wasn't shortable, but would have been a nice short if it was. Now it's probably going to bottom out around this moving average. Doesn't really have anywhere to go on the daily chart here. So just kind of waiting, seeing if anything interesting comes up. CDXC coming lower. So for me, improvements I could make if I were to go back in time on my trades today was waiting for actual moves instead of anticipating them. I do a lot of getting in anticipation of moves. And today, costing me a little bit. XTNT, not shortable, up quite a bit here from $2 up to $4.30 here. That's the 20 million private placement. I never really know what it means for these, so if you have any insight on this, I'd like to know. When it says they have, you know, offerings, private placements, and they give the price per share of $2.25, to me it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that people would trade it up to $4.31. Why is that the case? If they're getting, yeah, why does that happen? And the answer quite likely is, why do any of the moves that I trade happen? Because why is CDXC up to, why did it come up to $24 yesterday? What kind of news caused that? I already kind of like blocked it out, so don't really remember why CDXC was. Oh yeah, it was some medical something CDXC. But I would be interested to know about XTNT. So I'm taking an entry here on AFI short. This one is pretty slow trading today. It opened up here at 520 and shot up a little bit, tested the VWAP, and came down. And now it's come up to this moving average. And it looks like it has a lot of room to come down on the daily chart. And the news doesn't really impress me. They're just selling some property in California, some warehouse, I think. So I'm short 1,000 shares, which is 20% of my account of AFI. Let me see here. So in my LIGHT account here, I have margin on some stocks and I don't on others. So right here on AFI, I have 1,000 shares at an average price of $4.97 short, and that's so $4,970 in this trade, and it's telling me I'm using 20% of my account. So if I multiply this by 5, so they're giving me the buying power of 2 times my account value on this stock. So I could take a $24,500 position on this stock with my $12,247 account. So I always want to be a little bit cautious with that, because if I go into this thing with my whole account, then any move to the upper side or downside is going to be more impactful on my my account versus, so if the stock goes down 10% and I'm short, then my account will go up 20%. But if I'm in the red, it's also the same. So just something for me to be aware of for sure here. It does look like a little bit like it wants to get up above and do a 5-minute breakout here, which is 506, the price of 506. But it's also respecting this moving average. And plenty of room to come down on the day. So if this stock comes down, well, first let's think about a stop. If it comes up, I'll get out of this at 507 or 508 if it's getting up a couple cents above the highs of these candles. So that would be a $100 loss on it. If it comes down, so looking to stop out here potentially. I was talking about this yesterday, and then I didn't implement so got out at 511. So as I was talking about this yesterday, if I have tighter stops, and if there's room to make twice as much as there is room to lose with my stop, then it's not a huge deal taking these stabs. But then I did not implement my own logic and reasoning on CDXC yesterday. So it's very, very easy to kind of lose your mind when you're trading. At least it is for me. So on AFI there, gave back another 140. So since the market opened, I've just been taking some stabs and not capitalizing on any moves. AFI, I did see that break to the upside coming, but held it just in case and did stop out there. So along with a lot of the stocks I've been shorting here today, CDXC, AFI, and let's see, SRTS. This one, all these stocks have room to come down on the day quite a bit still. And I've just been getting in and stopping out. Mostly, I could have taken profit on a couple of the trades. CDXC, instead of adding, I could have taken profit on this one when I shorted it for the VWAP. So CDXC. Yeah, this one I shorted it. What price was it? So I shorted this one at 1905, which is right here as it tested the VWAP and came down. And then it came all the way down here to a low of 1728. And I had 160 shares short. So I was up a couple hundred on that one. So I'm definitely looking for bigger moves. When I look for bigger moves, it's more likely I'm going to have to stop out because I'm not trading just, the 1 minute and the 5 minute time frame. But my stops are based on the 1 minute and especially the 5 minute time frame. So when I'm looking for, bigger intraday moves, but my stops are tight, you risk repeatedly taking these losses. And I'm only down, what is it, 650 on all these little trades here that I've been taking and stopping out. So, a couple $100 losses on several stocks is not a big deal, because when I do have the nice winners, they're usually a couple thousand. If you look back in all my videos from this, when I started uploading my trading and then going live, I usually have a winner that's at least 1,000. So when I do capitalize on the move, it more than makes up for these small losses. The only problem is when I have a day like yesterday where I turn, where I, lose track, lose my composure and start taking risky trades and then making them exponentially worse, trying to recover in bad ways. JE. So Robert's commenting on JE and asking why is it making this move with this news. So this has to do with the energy crisis in Texas. Just energy. SRTS coming higher. Not trading it. CDXC is now below that moving average, and if it does hold below it here on this 5-minute candle, at this point it's been pushing on this level. You can see, look at this, how there's this nice level right here below the moving average and right at the moving average, where it's just been coming down, having pressure, and coming back up. So it's, you know, narrowing here on its bounce from this level up to these moving averages, and it's looking pretty weak to me. But I'm not going to trade it. It's on my do not trade list, along with SRTS, and AFI is now coming up to the reason even though I'm looking at CDXC and saying, well, yeah, it looks reasonable for a move down here, I'm just going to avoid trading the stocks that I've traded so far and gone red on the day, because I want to mitigate any potential for starting to trade based on my emotions of not capitalizing on these stocks and trading my P&L. So I'm just taking very, very preventative measures to stay calm, cool, and collected. It'll be nice to end the week with a green day. I am green on the week by a little bit here. Let's see, AFI. So AFI is broken up above the VWAP and making new highs. The pre-market highs are all the way up to 650. Let's see here, 649. So has a long ways to go on the day to be making new highs pre-market. It does have this nice trend down here. If you look at these highs here, pre-market, and now the market open, this nice trend right there. So likely to continue down. So you can probably see trend lines are pretty important in trading. They're very common and are respected. So you can see how this is just not perfect, but see if I can get there we go. That looks better. So right here, here, and here, it's tapped this trend line. So when you have trend lines, oftentimes when you break them is when you have a nice predictable move. So if this does come back up and is breaking above this, then it might be a nice predictable move for someone watching this stock. And especially in consolidation. So let's go to LIXT. So I'm just going to talk about my pre-market trade a little bit here, because I have the trend lines So here's my price where I got in right here. Let me make it bigger. As it broke above VWAP, I got in right here. Shot up, did a little bit of pullback here, shot up, did a nice 5-minute pullback there, shot up here, and then dropped down to the tapping the VWAP, and then bounced back and forth here, consolidating, and broke out here. And I'll zoom in even more here. So I was well above my price. My price was $6, so it was up here, you know, high 6s and low 7s. So I was sitting comfortably on this early in pre-market, so I wasn't, you know, I wasn't too worried about it. I could get out no problem and have a reasonable profit, and no matter what it did here. And so I drew these trend lines. I drew these trend lines before it made this move. So this trend line of support on the downside, you can see at the bottoms of these candles how it was, you know, its range was getting narrower and narrower here. This is also an ABCD setup where it has a high and then pulls back and then comes here. So it's called ABCD, and the breakout is on the D here. So it pulls back, comes up, comes back, and breaks out. And on an ABCD pattern, the breakout is the high right here of this this candle, this level here, which, but an even better entry on this was the these lines of consolidation. It's called a wedge. And once sometimes it gets all the way here to the apex point, or the corner of the wedge, before it breaks up or down. But you'd very rarely see a wedge where it gets here and then just goes sideways and doesn't do anything. So the closer you get to this wedge here, the more likely you're going to see a move up or down. So I had this trend line drawn in here and was watching, and if it dropped down below this, the VWAP was pretty close, so I was going to hold on to it a little bit, see what it did at the VWAP, but that was my stop here on this. I did end up getting out lower because I did hold through this big move, and I wanted to see what it did when the market opened, because it was the leading gapper, had a lot of people watching it, but it didn't trade very clean in pre-market or after the market opened. It didn't have any clean moves, clean setups that I saw. So my entry for the break of the VWAP here at 7:25 a.m. this morning, so 3:25 a.m. Alaska time, I was up watching this and getting into this trade. So let's see if there's haven't seen a lot of other interesting stocks to look at aside from the ones that we have. JE continuing higher, did a nice pullback here to the VWAP, and it's coming up now. So right now it's just a matter of, do I want to stick around and watch and see if something new pops up that's that I can get a good entry on, or do I want to call it a day? Nice comfortable profit on the day and end the week green. Here's my equity curve after yesterday. So started out 3 Tuesdays ago on February 8th. Had a little bit of a pullback here, a little bit of a pullback here, and then by far my biggest pullback there on my equity curve from 6. This is that's before commissions, so this is after commissions. It'll be even worse. So yeah, so all the way up here to just below $15,000 of profit, and pulled back all the way to 10,474 after yesterday. So that's the price I pay for not following my rules and making fatal mistakes one after the other. So I'm learning from that, and today I'm not losing my mind on anything. So I am barely green on the week here, so here's the 22nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. So on Monday, let's see here. Calendar, February. So Monday I had a small loss. Tuesday and Wednesday I had nice green days. Thursday, yesterday, my biggest loss. This small account challenge, and right now I'm sitting up, over 1,000 after commissions. So just barely green on the week, but that's okay. Gonna learn from it, and if I can not do what I did yesterday going forward, because I am gonna be hypercritical of myself shorting stocks above the VWAP, then that's a lesson learned, and I can improve moving forward, and it'll just get better and better. The market's always changing. Some weeks it's super hot, some weeks it's kind of cold and there's not a lot of momentum, and so sometimes I'm going full tilt one week, and then Monday shows up and I'm trading like it was last week and trying to capitalize on moves that just aren't happening. So you have to trade the market, and you have to remain calm, cool, and collected. So right now the market's been open for an hour. AFI came back down. So AFI did a nice big move up to this trend line here that I was showing you guys, and now it's come all the way back down to just above this 200 exponential moving average. So if I were trading this anymore, which I'm not, I would be watching it below this moving average, but right now it's pretty extended to the downside with this big move all the way from up there. So I could see it coming back up, maybe to the VWAP. But here it is, right at this moving average. 5-cent spread on the level 2, 489 to 494, 5.5 million shares of volume. It has a 20.6 million share float. Short float is 2.14%, so not really big there. And it's a flooring company that sold some property in California. So I'll give it another 12 minutes here, and if nothing interesting comes up by 10:45 Eastern time, I'll call it a day and be happy with today and be ready for next week. It's always nice to trade for just an hour or two as opposed to all day long. I do miss out on a lot of potential profit by getting out of shorts early, because a lot of the stocks that I short end up coming down a lot. For example, CDXC. It's very, very likely that as this comes down and breaks below, 1750, very likely this one will come down a couple dollars by the end of the day or end of after hours trading. But I think I would rather do other things. Plus, I've already taken this one off my, put it on my do not trade list for today, because I don't want to build up any, strong emotions that could affect my trades, and I don't want to increase my bad feelings towards this stock from yesterday. So I actually feel pretty good. Yesterday was a good learning experience. That's the cost of trading education, is all the experiences you get that cost money. And the goal is to learn from them so that you can slowly improve over time and just evolve into a skilled, profitable, calm trader. So CDXC, I would be shorting it here if I was trading it. 1750. You can see this trend line right here. See that line there? But overall, pretty weak right now, I'd say. CDXC. But it could be a while before it drops down below that level. Can't predict the future. Maybe I should, so on the days where I have nice short trades so let's say, for example, I was taking a short on this and that it did continue lower on the day. Maybe I would be better off if I put a order to stop out, at some reasonable level with profit, and just walked away and came back, near the market close to get out of it, because so many stocks that I trade to the short side. I think I'll probably try that. I just need to be absolutely sure that the order I have to stop out is good, and it will execute if it comes back up. Because I have traded every week, I short stocks that end up moving lower, and I could be doubling my profit on the day. So if I set it just takes hours for them to come down after the market open, and things cool down a bit, they just slowly kind of, roll out and bottom out and then make moves lower. And this one could be at $15 easy by market close if it does continue down. If it doesn't, then I would just stop out. So that's something I'll look into, is just leaving it. But day trading, I never leave trades unattended, just to go run to the bathroom really quick, even if I'm up a lot, is kind of against the not the smartest thing to do when I'm day trading. So 6 more minutes. If nothing interesting comes up by 10:45 Eastern time, I'll just call it a day. So while CDXC is figuring itself out, let's check out some of the other ones. SRTS consolidating here above the VWAP. So here's one of these trend lines. Kind of, not a perfect trend line, but you can see what I'm looking at. This is a very kind of poor wedge there above the VWAP, but you can see the shape of this wedge. So most likely, because it's above the VWAP and it's been trending up, it's going to break up above this and get to 580, maybe $6 sometime, or it might break down. So that's SRTS. Then we have AFI. AFI came up and tapped this trend line I drew in here from the pre-market spikes up above the VWAP. This one is actually very similar looking to, which one did I trade on Tuesday? Let's see. DWSN. So look at this chart right here. I'll actually pull them up here. So AFI and DWSN. So this was my trade on Tuesday. What day was Tuesday? Here we go. So here's the 5-minute chart for AFI up here. And here's the 5-minute chart for DWSN on Tuesday. Does that look kind of similar? It does to me. Looks very similar, actually. So in pre-market, these stocks were coming up, jumping above the VWAP, and then immediately rejecting it within 5 or 10 minutes. So there's lots of similar patterns, and the longer you're in the market, the more you can recognize them, and the patterns help you decide whether or not to take a trade. So the longer you're doing this, just like anything, the longer you're skiing or snowboarding, you just develop an ability to do it. It's kind of like second nature to. If you look at this chart, you see it coming up and rejecting the VWAP, coming up, rejecting the VWAP, rejecting the VWAP, and overall trending down. You can see, well, this stock's weak. If it comes up and rejects the VWAP for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th time, or 5th time, it's most likely going to do the same thing. Not for sure, but most likely. So that's exactly right here on DWSN on Tuesday. I saw this pre-market pattern, and right here it came up. I shorted it with my full account and margin. I think I had 2 times my account value of margin. I used all of it on this short because I was so sure. got in as it came up and tested the VWAP, got out down here. It was about 430 to 320, so I think it was a $1.10 winner. And here's that trade right here. So I can pull this up. DWSN, $4,979. And let's look at the details here. If I can see it. Look at this. So I was short, here's that move. I was shorting it right as it came in and touched the VWAP, and then taking profit right down here. From 430 to 340 and 320. So that's what patterns can do for you, day trading. If you watch it day in and day out, and you pay attention to patterns and how stocks behave, you can just capitalize on these. And yeah, I had Tuesday. Let's see. Tuesday. Thanks, Jacob. Yeah, I was really happy with that one. That was cool that it was the first day I was live streaming, I think. Anyways, let's see here. So here's my this is TraderView. It's a website where you can import trades from almost any brokerage. Yeah, so Tuesday ended up 3,400 because I did the same thing on this day as I did today. I had one really nice winner and then took some stabs on some other stocks and had to stop out. So just like today, let's look at my P&L today. I've traded 4 stocks and only one of them I'm green on, but on the one I'm green on, it made the move I was anticipating, so I let it run and I took profit at a reasonable level when it was coming back down. On the other ones today, I had stops and I exercised those stops at reasonable levels when it didn't make the move I was looking for. A lot of them have made the moves I was looking for, but I just was impatient and got in a little bit early or with a little bit too much size to stay in the trade until it made the move I was looking for. So this is so Tuesday and today are perfect examples of why you can be right way less than 50% of the time and still be profitable. You just have to have stops and exercise them and have to take profit at good levels when stocks move in your direction. And then that's what you can do. What you don't want to do is what I did yesterday and not stop out. I'm okay with it. I've gotten over it, moved on. But the fact that my biggest day up or down is a loss is not good. I've had way more green days than red days. After today, unless something crazy happens, I am, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 trading days since I started this small account challenge with $2,000 account on February 9th. And 10 of those 13 days, if today goes well and I don't take any crazy trades, are green. And on my second to very best day here, I was wrong 75% of the time. I traded, wrong 80% of the time. I traded 5 stocks and I'm only green on one of them. And here's my P&L for that day. So I did go into the red a little bit on CTIB. I was down, looks like, almost $700 or $800. Then had that really nice trade on DWSN. Then I was just taking some stabs and stopping out and gave back a little bit of profit. But it's not a big deal because some of the time when I take those initial entries, I'm going to be right, and it's going to make a move like DWSN. So it's not about being right or wrong more than it is about managing your risk. The problem is people like to be right. People don't like to be wrong. So people don't like to get out of trades when they don't go in their direction because they want to wait until it becomes a green trade and they were right and they make money and everything's good. That is what my mindset was when I had this loss yesterday on this stock that we've been watching today, CDXC. So it's super, super important that you don't focus on profit as much as you focus on managing risk. So that's my speech today on managing risk in the stock market. And day trading, stocks that are moving 50, 100, 200% on the day is very inherently risky. So talking about managing risk is kind of like, well, why are you day trading? That's ridiculously risky. Well, because risk versus reward. If you can find a way to manage the risk, sure, sometimes you're still going to get, you're still going to have losses when either A, like yesterday, you don't follow your risk management and you make mistakes, you're going to have losses. And also sometimes there's times where stocks halt. For example, I don't remember this stock, but when I started day trading in the fall of 2018, so just over 2 years ago, there was a stock that was going crazy on the day. I think I got in it around $10 or $11 for a 5-minute setup or something like that, and it halted, and it was halted for the entire day for investigation for some kind of market manipulation or fraud or something like that. This doesn't happen super often, but now and then it opened up at $3. So I had a like 80% loss on that stock. So that was not fun. So you have to be careful on some stocks, but that's pretty uncommon and very uncommon. And usually you can tell when that's going to happen just based on the news and things like that. But there is definitely some risk here. And yeah, that's about it. So I'm going to be done for the day. Haven't really been watching because I've been, talking about everything. But if you focus on managing your risk, number one, then you should be okay. And the more time you spend in the market seeing the way everything behaves and just, it's all about experience, learning by experience. You can't go read a book, How to Day Trade, and be a good day trader. You have to experience it. Just like you can't go read a book about how to downhill ski or go to watch a YouTube video, how to downhill ski, and then you're going to go to the ski resort and, be a pro. You have to do it over and over and over and over and over. And over time, you'll become more proficient. And eventually, you'll become very proficient. And see you, Robert. Thanks for coming in. See you Monday. And so that's about it. I'm going to call it a day. Up $1,141 on LIXT. It was straight off the leading gap scanner this morning from Trade Ideas, and traded it to the long, breaking above the VWAP. I was up a couple thousand, maybe even 3,500 on one point, but took my chances, stopped out as it was coming down, took some stabs at 3 other stocks, didn't capitalize on anything, and finishing the day green, and I'll be back at it Monday morning, my account will be 12,247 plus about 1,100, so about 13,300 or so, starting fresh next week. And thanks for joining. Have a good day. Have a nice weekend.